Hey guys, it's me today on the show. AOC totally makes the cover of Time magazine, and she's like a total phenom. Beto ate dirt after losing to Ted Cruz. You know you have a bad haircut when you make your baby cry. Another spring break bikini brawl with video, and a parkour performer ends up in the can. That's coming up.
It's the Rob Carson Show. Are you ready to be pod-smacked? Now, here's Rob Carson.
Here is Rob Carson with my Kansas City background. Glad to have you with me today. Okay, so very soon we are changing the name of the show to What in the World is Going On with Rob Carson. Okay, I'm just waiting for my my intro. I'm getting a brand new digital intro that's really totally sweet, and it's being produced by Fiverr. Fiverr, do you know Fiverr? Fiverr. Really cool. And it's a bunch of artists, a bunch of graphic designers, voice artists, and whatnot. I may even join and do some voice work and some video work there. So it's Fiverr, and it looks pretty amazing. So welcome to the show. Today, if you would please, order something from teepublic.com. There you go, teepublic.com. Conservatees, that's what I call my shirt and swag line. They are politically incorrect, and they are awesome. For those of you who are listening, it is teepublic.com. I'm going to raise my seat a little here. teepublic.com / or I should just say type in conservatees on the site. And there's some really cool stuff like Socialism Sucks t-shirt, Uranium One, Making Russia Great Again with Hillary Clinton. Sometimes war is the answer. Veganism is an eating disorder. You can't coexist when some people want to kill you. And, of course, Hillary in 20. Never. So I'm starting a new segment on the show, and it's just featuring some of the memes that I've created in the last week. I started doing memes, and they're pretty darn funny, I think. Let's go through a couple of them real quick here, including this one that has been wildly popular. You know, the big college admission scandal and whatnot. Well, Elizabeth Warren said that basically it's wrong. I have zero sympathy for those who cheated on their way into college. And then I put at the bottom of the meme with her picture, faking your heritage to get a faculty job is fine, however. So you can see that on my page, my Facebook page at Rob Carson Show. Here's one with Beto O'Rourke. It's a picture of Beto O'Rourke next to Grover from Sesame Street. On the top it says, "Can you spot the difference?" On the bottom it says, "One flails his arms about and spouts nonsense. The other is a Muppet." So, again, check it out, Facebook.com, Rob Carson Show. Oh, this is pretty interesting because of the new Green Deal. Many Democrats feel that that global warming is being caused by, among other things, cow farts. So I have a glorious picture of a very surprised-looking cow. On the top, it says, "AOC, Beto, and the Dems, I think my farts are destroying the earth." On the bottom, it says, "It's because they can't fart with their heads up their asses." So that's new. That's funny. That's getting a huge reaction. A Democrat candidate named Andrew Yang, one of his platforms is being against circumcision. So at the top of the picture of Andrew Yang, Dem candidate Andrew Yang is against circumcision. On the bottom, taxes aren't the only thing Dems won't cut. It's just, you know what I did with the cut thing. Yes, so it cuts both ways. Let me see. What else do I got here? Oh, and of course, Alexandria OcasioCortez being on the cover of Time, and it features the Phenom. On the bottom, it says 15,000 libs elect a dimwit, and now she's an icon. It's good to be a Democrat. So that is coming up. Now, of course, she did make it on the cover of Time, and Time is taking a little heat for it because, honestly, and listen, it's like giving Barack Obama the Nobel Prize before he's done anything. What has she done? She was elected, I mean, literally, and I don't make this all political because the show is not entirely about politics, but she was elected by 15,000 people in New York. So it was a pinprick on the electoral map of the United States. And she's been in office for 2 months, in which time she said a lot of really stupid stuff. And Time has declared her to be a phenom. A phenom. Meanwhile, we've got other people in Congress who are elected, veterans injured in battle. I'm forgetting the name of the freshman Republican with one eye, who is a battle hardened veteran, and nobody's paying attention to him, except for Fox News. Anyway, she is a phenom, and you know why shouldn't she be a phenom? Because honestly, this is how phenoms talk. This is with Late Night with Seth Meyers last night.
With my Republican colleagues, they say things, and I'm like, what does that have to do with what we're talking about? And like the person's like in charge of the National Flood Insurance Program. They're like, what? And the woman said yes or no.
Okay, so here's the deal. Let's do a drinking game. Every time that she says you got to drink. You're going to die of alcohol poisoning before the end of the interview. So you might want to do like not shots, just maybe a little sip of beer, possibly.
And he says, yeah. And she goes, yes. Especially as someone who had to, close up a restaurant and at night and have to kick everyone out. Like, you're really good at just saying
Drink.
8. I mean, it's weird.
Yeah.
And like why are so many grown men just obsessed with this, 29-year-old? I mean,
with them been so far.
kind of this Fox News lunacy. This guy came up to me and he was like, is it true that you got $10 million from Netflix? And I was like, no. And it's like in the well, like we're voting on gun reform, and I'm like, what else do you not know? I think it is interesting.
And have you met with a lot of inter-party resistance?
Yeah. Congressional hearings are not a Beyonce concert,
Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, Seth Meyers, the ultimate fluffer. The ultimate fluffer. Here's the thing. This is a representative to Congress, and she sounds stupid. Okay, I've got my own verbal tics, but she sounds stupid, and I think she is not terribly intelligent. That's it. I'm not trying to make this political. If this was a Republican, I'd be embarrassed. Learn to talk. Learn to talk. You're not a child anymore. Although I did just see a headline today that says you're not fully an adult until you're 30 years old. So all you guys who are 38, 39, 42, maybe 44, like Beto O'Rourke, who still drive, go on to work on a longboard, probably should have stopped at about 30. Anyway. Oh, here she is talking about the new Green Deal last night and of course, Seth Meyers, late night television. Jay Leno came out talking about how it's become political, and it has. And Seth Meyers is a complete fluffer for her. He asked about the Green New Deal, a $93 trillion price tag, which is 5 times the U.S.'s gross national product. Everything the U.S. produces, and they want to do this in 10 years, 12 years, because the world's going to end in 12 years. By the way, didn't know if you knew that. Yeah. I don't know if the world is going to end in 12 years. Could be 11, right? Do you think? That if there's they figured it out that in 12 years the world's going to think about that a second. What if it's 13 years? We've got 12 years for the world to end. Yeah. The weird thing about end of the world predictions. This is kind of interesting. What do they all have in common? What are all the end? And there have been thousands of end of the world predictions over the centuries, starting with Nostradamus and all this stuff. They were all wrong. I thought you should know. So do you think this one has more credibility than the others? I don't know. Here she is talking about her new Green Deal.
I want to talk about certainly another thing, give you a chance to clarify the Green New Deal. One of the things we're even hearing the president say is that you would outlaw cows.
Oh, yeah.
Cows farting, that would be out. Children, hamburgers, ice cream. Any of that true at all?
No, in fact, I think it is interesting. It's always good to see how these...
I read the Green New Deal proposal. That was in there. Other things in there, getting rid of air travel.
Narratives are manipulated because...
It wasn't manipulation. I read it.
They're trying to say...
It wasn't even a high school term paper. It was like an 8th grade social studies assignment that was due on Friday, and the kid was up at 4 a.m. on Thursday night or Friday morning getting it done.
Say that the Green New Deal is about what we have to give up, what we have to cut back on.
That's really what it is. Actually.
In fact, the Green New Deal itself is a resolution to be more expansive. It is
expensive. What?
To be able to generate more and to make sure that we're investing in working class Americans, so that we all can afford to have more in life so an affordable apartment isn't a dream but a norm.
And what does that have to do with the new Green Deal?
That healthcare is a right, not a privilege.
What does that have to do with the new Green Deal? The applause sign just came on, by the way.
The only reason I think anyone would have to cut back on ice cream is if their doctor advised them to.
Yeah, sometimes doctors will do that.
Okay, let's move on. College for all and an apartment for all. A glorious little apartment in Moscow. And a government-made car, if you're lucky. Okay, let's move on to Beto O'Rourke. This is an interesting story. I've never been this stoned. Beto O'Rourke ate dirt after losing his Senate race against Ted Cruz last year. This is last year. Apparently, there was a lengthy Washington Post report which divulged details on the road trip the former congressman took after his defeat in the midterm elections and ensuing funk that surrounded it during a stop in Mexico, which did not make it into his blog. O'Rourke, 46 years old, still riding a longboard, ate the local dirt, which the report said is to believed to have regenerative powers. Can you imagine the next day? Wow. He also brought some this New Mexican dirt home to his family to eat. Hey, Mom, Dad, I'm taking care of dinner tonight. Okay, just, here you go. Here you go. Can you imagine coming over to Beto O'Rourke's house for dinner? He's like, okay, let's go outside in the backyard. I got dinner out there, right there. Okay, here's your shovel, and there's a nice little picnic blanket there on the ground. Eating dirt. Tried it a few times as a little kid, like 3 years old, 4 years old. Tried it a couple times. It was ucky. Here's Beto O'Rourke. He had a couple of big old rallies, and he raised a bunch of money, by the way. Did you know that? He raised a whole bunch of money, like $6 million in the the last couple of weeks, which is more than even old Bernie Sanders. Made. He said that we do not have a problem at the border. He says, I'm here to tell you a profoundly positive story about the U.S.-Mexico border. I'm here to tell you that we don't need any walls. 30 million, 2,000 miles long, 30 feet high, will not be built. It will not be built on the international boundary line, which is the center of the Rio Grande. That wall will be built well into the interior on someone's ranch, someone else's farm, someone else's home. You'll be forced to take their property to solve a problem that we do not have. Well, yeah, we do. And here's the deal. A lot of these ranchers and farmers would like to have the stream of illegals stopped from coming across the border. That's just the way it is. Because a lot of them leave their trash. They leave their filth. Many of them are unsavory, and many of them have criminal records. They're a danger. And I just want you to think about this. Number of undocumented immigrants crossing the border last month was the highest total for February in 12 years. That's according to statistics released by Customs and Border Protection. 28 days in the same month, President Donald Trump declared a national emergency in order to build a border wall. 76,103 immigrants without the needed documentation to enter the U.S. either presented themselves at legal ports of entry or were apprehended at the border. Those are the ones that were apprehended. Okay? So that's the highest number since February 2007. Now, I know I'm going to get some heat for making this comparison. What if these people were coming across your border wearing military uniforms and they had guns? That would be called an invasion. It would be called an invasion. This is an invasion. This is not a legal act. This is an invasion. And this is a national emergency. Any other country in the world, if it were France next to whatever country and they were streaming across the border, it would be a national emergency. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Let's talk about a sponsor, shall we? Oh, you know what? Dots Pretzels. Okay, Dots Pretzels are a gift from God. I went to a liquor store earlier today and stopped to get some wine, and they were there. I know this is in Kansas City, just off of State Line, and I go in, and as I'm getting ready to check out, there's a nice rack of Dots Pretzels, and this woman who's working there, she says, oh, yeah, people who move away from here, when they come back, they come here immediately and get Dots Pretzels. That's exactly what she told me. And when you don't have Dots Pretzels, you will miss them. You will want them shipped to you by a friend in an area that has Dots Pretzels. They're glorious. They're buttery. They're a little oniony, maybe a little garlicky. All you got to do is go to dotspretzels.com, DOTSpretzels.com. Order some big bags because they are They're just the best pretzels. Don't put anything on them. Don't put any mustard on them. Leave them alone because they're absolutely awesome. Pretzels.com. Glorious. Glorious. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, one of the things the Democrat Party wants to do is get rid of the Electoral College. Why do you suppose that is? Because Al Gore and because Hillary Clinton. Okay. Here's the thing about the Electoral College. It allows smaller states to be represented. Okay. The state of Colorado just voted against the Electoral College. He's effectively eliminating their votes from any meeting in the national election. That's it. All of the power will go to the big states. That's it. California, New York, all the East Coast states, all of the power is going to go to those states. It will not be necessary to address flyover country because there's no people there compared to the population centers. Now, this is fine and dandy if you're a Democrat right now, because right now those areas are populated by liberal Democrats. And that's why they're really happy about it. But on MSNBC, Jean-Pierre, I don't watch MSNBC much just because I don't like vomiting. But anyway, here is Jean-Pierre admitting basically there wouldn't be a conversation about the Electoral College if Hillary had won.
Electoral College. And perhaps South Carolina as well. Kareem, we'll start there with you. I mean, this idea that this is something that sounds great on the stump. It sounds great in the town hall, but not something that is really ever going to happen. It is not feasible politically.
It's not going to.
Look, I think it is a uphill battle, but we have to remember there are about 10 to 15 states right now who are pledging to make the Electoral College match the popular vote. So there is a movement out there. We shouldn't deny that. There's a reason why this is part of the conversation at this moment. And we have to step back for a second how the Electoral College became to be. There were many compromises, but one of the most powerful compromises was the 3/5 compromise, where a slave was considered 3/5 of a person.
Do you know why that is? Come on, think about it. Do you know why a slave was considered 3/5 of a person? It's because the southern states, the plantation owners, were going to use their slaves to vote. Now, they weren't going to allow them to vote. They were just going to say, we've got a number of slaves here, and they're all going to vote Democrat this election. And so the Republicans in the East and up north said, well, if that's going to happen, then they're worth 3/5 of a vote. Not because they think of them as any less of a human being, because they ultimately were anti-slavery, but that's just they didn't want the balance of power upset toward the slave states. That's what it was all about, kids. Ding, ding.
Which gave the power to slave states, incredible power to slave states. So yes, we're at a time now, as we're looking modern times, where we need to have the conversation about the Electoral College, where we need to look at it and say, hey, it hurts our democracy in a big way. Warren is right. It should be one person, one vote. You have these candidates that's...
We're a representative republic, not a democracy.
Spend a lot of time in about, 7 to a dozen states, but it shouldn't be about the zip code. It should be about the candidates telling their messages across the country.
But you see, getting rid of the Electoral College will do the exact opposite of that.
And so we do need to revisit this, and there is a movement out there for it.
Corinne, will we be having this conversation?
It's a vowel movement.
Hillary Clinton were president.
I think that conversation's been around since 2000. And I think, yes, you're right, Craig. I think after 2016, there was a much bigger push for it. So, Hillary Clinton, her loss, winning 3 million more votes for the popular vote, clearly, and losing the Electoral College, absolutely put this issue in the forefront.
Okay, there she admitted. She admitted it. Let's just real quick, let me see if I can Google this real quick. I'm going to find the electoral map of Donald Trump's victory, okay? Donald Trump electoral map 2015. Wow, it's already been 2016. Can you believe that? Victory. Oh, are you having a nice spring, by the way? I've never been more happy to see pollen on my car. Let's see here. Donald Trump. Oh, there we are. Okay, I'm going to save this real quick. It just takes a second. I'm going to go ahead and try and save this. Save as Trump victory. This is, that's a page. I can't do that. I can't save it. Basically, the entire country, if you look at the entire country, 95% of it is what Democrats say is, Republican territory. They call it red. I don't believe it's red at all. The whole red, blue thing as far as the states, the Democrat Party is red. That's just it. But Donald Trump took the majority of the country in a very large way. That's just how it happened. And if you take away the Electoral College, again, you're just going to be giving it to the larger states, and the smaller states will not benefit from it. So I'm sorry I couldn't show you the map. I just couldn't get it up in time. Happens with guys that are middle-aged. Okay, so just back off. Okay. Oh, do I really feel like talking about Beto O'Rourke at Plymouth State University? Yeah, okay. This is just a little, and this is the only thing we're going to talk about is politically that's left. We're going to move on to all of the fun stuff in pop culture, including, there's one more political story. It looks like Miami residents are tired of spring breakers. There have been a bunch of bikini brawls, and I have another bikini brawl with video. Dad surprises his son returning from Iraq. That's incredible. Group of skiers caught in an avalanche, and you won't believe the video. Shocking moment, a light pole falls during high winds during a high school soccer practice. Whoa. A desperate dog tries to get its owner to stop playing video games, and a parkour artist winds up in the can. I think you're going to enjoy it. But here's Beto O'Rourke talking about abortion, and he was asked, would you support a bill that does not limit in any way abortion, even if the baby's been born alive? And here is his response.
Thank you for being here. You gave me a good excuse to get out of school.
Happy to oblige.
I don't know. I wanted to ask you about a recent bill that just went through the Senate about 2 weeks ago. And the bill was that if an abortion was performed on a viable fetus and the fetus survived the abortion, the doctor would then be compelled to give that living baby the same care as any other pregnancy baby that came out and put that baby through the care. Would you support this bill that does not in any way limit abortion and simply seeks to keep babies alive that have been born alive?
Okay, so here's a kid who just asked what I think is a very good question. For some odd reason, it disappeared from my screen. Boy, this is weird. Having a few technical difficulties. Let me go ahead and find it again here real quick, and we'll move on forward from there. Let's see, Beto, vid clip. Okay, vid. Let's start this again. I apologize. It was an error by my computer.
Thank you for being
here. So let's
here.
move forward from the question to his response. Okay.
Happy to oblige.
Here it is again. Now this kid is. It sounds like a pro-choice
kid.
About
2 weeks ago.
Okay. Here's Beto's response.
Any other pregnancy baby that came out and put that baby through the care. Would you support this bill?
Okay. So the kid is saying, that there was an abortion procedure, and the baby came out of the woman, and the baby is alive. The baby has survived an abortion, okay? And so it is a viable fetus. The baby can survive and go ahead and live to be an adult like you and me, okay?
Does not in any way limit abortion and simply seeks
this kid is
to
clearly
keep
pro-life.
Babies alive that have been born alive.
There's a lot of silence there.
Thank you for the question. The way that I would approach your question and this issue generally is to trust women to make their own decisions about their own lives.
And here goes the crowd. No, you can't do that. Not if a baby's been born alive. Because if that's the case, then the next day, if mom wants to kill the baby, she should be able to kill the baby. Do you understand what I'm saying here? I hate to get all serious, but my Lord in heaven, what are you talking about? Paging Dr. Mengele. This is why the Democrat Party is going to lose in 2020. This is it. And if they don't, God help us all. He defers to the woman. So blame it on the woman then. That a doctor that would allow this to happen, considering the Hippocratic Oath, that doctor should be thrown in jail. I'm sorry. and that people would applaud that. What in the hell? Why has killing a child in the womb become such an empowering thing in the women's movement? Why? I don't get it. I don't get it, and it's just sad. On Friday, a leftist, decided that she'd steal some crosses. This is what the left does on campus. Feminists tried to steal crosses from a pro-life display at the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. The pink crosses, notes the Students for Life website, are part of the spring hashtag Planned Parenthood Truth on Campus. Students are for life are exposing the truth about Planned Parenthood's poor track record on helping women. So they put up 1,000 crosses. They were allowed. They had the permission from the school. But this is what the left does when they don't like the speech of others. Here she goes. And she was arrested, by the way. Yay.
Is there a reason why you're doing this?
Because we just.
Okay, but this isn't your property.
Because we know that having.
How do you know it's not?
So okay, let's hear it again. Let's hear it again.
Why you're doing this?
Because we just.
Okay. There you go. I mean, it doesn't get any clearer than that. Because we disagree with it. There is a very large portion of the millennial generation that I just am so done with. This generation is so effed, to be quite honest. It is just so screwed up. And I don't think there's hope for many of them. This is not a blanket every millennial, but my God, what the hell is going on? A little bit more from the radical because she disagrees, trying to silence people's speech. I think she escaped from the cast of The Matrix, by the way.
Okay, but this isn't your property.
Because we know that having.
Yeah, well, because you don't want to have a conversation. That's why. Because you'd have to have, a conversation about the fact that you were a fetus at one point. I think you were anyway, unless you just came straight from hell. I don't know.
You know it's not going to work.
Because I've been having this conversation for 28 years with people.
So why are you taking your property?
Your property.
This is ours.
Yes, we have a permit.
No, these crosses are our property.
I
believe these officers can tell you that we have a permit.
Oh, here come the officers.
Can you please put it down?
Just take her down, body slam her.
Can you please give us back?
Come on. Come on, police.
Will you please give me it back?
Unfortunately, they're not going to body slam her or pepper spray her. I was hoping for that.
On the school campus,
it'd make it pretty fun.
That apparently this is someone's property, and you're telling us to leave it, I'm assuming?
Correct, and they do have a permit, like you.
Yeah.
So if you could give those back to them.
Yeah.
And can you, put them back, too?
Oh, she's going to throw them or something. No, I guess not.
I'm not really sure the way guys laid them out, so.
Oh, there she goes. Yeah, okay, whatever. Jeez Louise. Unbelievable. Let's talk about another sponsor, shall we? Mine has been very busy these days. My pit barrel cooker. There it is right there. The Pit Barrel Classic. You know what I'm smoking today? This is going to sound weird. I'm smoking sausage. Big, large sausages that I'm going to hang in my pit barrel cooker. And I'm going to use, today I'm using hickory. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it about 200 degrees. I don't want to be too hot. I don't want to be too hot. I don't want to overcook them. I just want to get the smoke in there. All right. So you can adjust. There's a little vent on the side. You can adjust it according to the altitude that you're at. And you just use fire and wood, and that's what you make right there. If you could see it on YouTube, you'd see the pork butts and the brisket and the ribs and the smoked brisket burger. All of these things that I made. Thank you very much with my pit barrel cooker. You can get the Pit Barrel Classic delivered to your door for $300. They're also being sold at Ace True Value Hardware, at least in the Kansas City area. So you can just drive up and get one. They're glorious. pitbarrelcooker.com, pitbarrelcooker.com. They're awesome. So, Lori Loughlin, one of the moms that was involved in the gigantic scandal where millionaire families, celebrities, and whatnot, including Joe Montana, I heard he got wrapped up in this thing, paid millions of dollars to get their snowflakes into colleges they otherwise would not have been accepted at, including paying off coaches to fake that they were athletes. Okay, so Lori Loughlin's daughter, Olivia, was doing quite well for herself as a social media influencer, which also means Instagram skank. Yeah. She says if you can pull in $1 million, not she didn't say it, but if you can pull in 1 million views for a video, You can make some serious money from that alone. If you can bring a sponsor's products to an audience of that size, as she routinely did, you've got serious ad money on top of it. So apparently, she could make a minimum of $30,000 for a post on Instagram and could be upwards of $50,000. She's upset that her mom and dad ruined her chance to be an Instagram skank. She has 525 Instagram posts in the bank and scores of YouTube uploads. So, unfortunately, it looks like it's going to hurt. Corporate sponsors like Sephora and Theresa May dropped her, apparently. And it appears her internet skankdom is going up in smoke. So the next thing will have to happen is probably a sex video. I'm just saying, that's usually how it goes. Just ask Kim Kardashian and her billionaire sister, internet skank. They're entrepreneurs. Yeah, whatever. Do you think that Khloe Kardashian created all those products? Do you suppose she came up with the testing and everything for them? Or did she just kind of go, oh, yeah, I like it. Okay, go for it. Put my name on it. It's going to make a lot of you people who love internet skanks angry. Let's watch another bikini brawl, shall we, at spring break? Are you ready? Apparently, frustrated Miami residents have held an emergency meeting to make spring break less fun after a spate of drunken girls' arrests and naked women running down the street. They're taking all the fun out of it. Gosh darn it. Let's watch another bikini brawl. Oh, wow. Holy cow. Fun, fun, fun. There's something fun with this. Here they are. You know, normally, I think a lot of guys kind of like to watch chicks fight. I don't know if this is doing much for me. Is it doing much for you? There you go. There they are. They're howling. They're hooting. They're having a good old time in Miami. Oh! That is just not even cool. They don't hit a girl. What the hell is that? Yeah, that's... Okay. Wow. Wow. And rather than helping her out, there's like a couple people helping her out and everybody else is just videotaping. That's good. Spring break in Miami. Fun. Did you go on spring break? I never went on spring break. I know. Not a surprise. Just not a surprise at all. This is pretty funny. This is a video of a dad. Apparently he had dreadlocks. Mason Harris is the little boy's name in the high chair. Now, at the time of this post, 132,000 views. Now it's over millions of this because the baby saw dad's hair and did this.
Nina, hi. Your daddy feel bad. You crying.
Yeah, my wife does the same thing when I try to get rid of some of the gray. Yeah, I come back, I'm like, hey, what do you think? I'm like, come on. She's like, just let it go. It makes you look distinguished. You're a guy, you look distinguished. I don't like it. I'm a guy. Oh, this is good. Shocking moment, a group of skiers caught off guard as they trigger an avalanche, sending them tumbling down a mountain. I love these things. I love this. Now, this apparently happened in the Alps. And a huge mass of snow beneath them. Could you imagine this? This is the stuff of nightmares, and I literally mean nightmares. You would have it. This would be a nightmare. If you had this nightmare, you'd wake up. Nobody was injured. Well, I know. I probably shouldn't have told you that ahead of time. No, somebody could have died. Stay tuned. Here they go. And we're going for a ride on the Avalanche Mountain. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Sacre bleu. Do-do-do. There they go. And there it was. We pay cash for videos. Is this? Yeah, Daily Mail, UK Daily Mail. Thank you, UK Daily Mail, for all of the glorious footage you give me for this spectacular podcast. Are you enjoying the podcast so far? I hope so. Because I've got a couple more videos I'm going to get to. But first, I want to tell you about my new Instagram page. Let's go to Rob Carson Show. Subtitled Carson's Crappy Kitchen. It's just food porn. It's just food porn from the awful kitchen that I have here in the Kansas City area. And I make some glorious things. Check that out, will you? Okay? And then also, of course, my Facebook page is Rob Carson Show. And I put up all sorts of political stuff, including my new memes. Okay? So check that out. Also, if you would, tpublic.com, conservatees, look up these T-shirts. We're adding new designs all the time. We're working on one right now that says, my kid got into college and I didn't have to bribe anybody. We're going to have that up here very soon. teepublic.com. Now, these are okay, I'm going to save the soldier reuniting and the dog, the video game. But first, I'm going to play the light pole accident. This is unbelievable. Stadium light pole came crashing down during a high school soccer game, and apparently the whole thing was caught on tape. I will tell you that there was someone injured. It's Clarksville High School. Apparently everybody's going to be okay. Students from Mena and Dardendale High Schools were on the field as well, by the way. And here is what happened, and this is one of those oh shit moments, okay? Check it out. Here we go. Playing. Oh, there you go. Could you even imagine? Let's watch that again. Could you even imagine this happening? Oh, jeez. That's one of those things. Here's the thing. Things can happen so quickly in your life. Clarksville, Arkansas, by the way, struck 3 players, including a referee. And apparently, I'm just looking for injuries here. Referee sustained 2 broken bones in his leg, and a player who was also hit suffered cuts to his head and his legs. Unbelievable. That's a holy crap moment right there, people. Now, these are always hard for me to watch. We've got the couple of other videos coming here, but I want to do this. This is these. I never get tired of these moments because I can't imagine going without a year without seeing my father. Although I went the entire rest of my life without seeing my father when he left when I was 7. Oh wow! Did I just say that out loud? He's got daddy issues. Sergeant Rob Constantino, Sestardino. There you go. Nailed it. And his son, Luca. I guess they're Italian. They were at the Success Martial Arts Center in Lebanon, Tennessee. And apparently the martial arts instructor had blindfolded Luca and replaced him with Dad, Rob Sestardino. Here is what happened. And I will, most doubtedly, because I'm a giant mushball, tear up a little bit. And you will too. Check it out.
Daddy?
And they put that on tight. Right there. Told you. Gosh. Look at that boy. Look at that glorious boy.
Such a big boy when I was going. I'm so.
God bless him.
Wow. You still don't keep your guard up when you punch?
Like, Dad, hello? I haven't seen you for a year. And you come here and you surprise me. I'm bawling my eyes out here. And then you tell me that I'm still not guarding myself when I come on. I'm glad to see you, son, but wow, you need some serious work. And while I've been away in Iraq for a year, you've really slept. I'm great. It's great to see you. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I love it. I've got 2 more videos I want to get to that I think you're really going to love. Really going to love. Again, I want to remind you guys to check out, if you would, Dots Pretzels. Order them online, dotspretzels.com, dotspretzels.com. They are absolutely glorious. Just write it down. Make it, bookmark it on your browser because you're going to want them. You're going to want them, and then when you order them, then they arrive. Or if you live up and down the I-29 corridor, North Dakota to Kansas and Missouri, you can find them. You're going to want to get them. Also, they're making them in Arizona as well, so it's pretty glorious. It's a glorious enterprise. It's an American enterprise. It is a typical American story about a woman named Dot, and everybody's saying, dang, your pretzels are awesome, and they're bringing them to market. And soon I'm going to bring my products to market, including my guacamole called Guacabages. So, here's a funny, Chelsea the dog cannot stand to have her owner, her dad. Come on, I call myself my dog's dad. Whatever. I love my dogs. I love my kids. I love my kids more. But there's a guy, I guess his name is Joe. He's playing a solo racing game on an Xbox console in his bedroom. Normal pastime for any young guy. And here's the dog, a little frustrated because, dogs actually like you, unlike cats. Cats could give a rat's behind whether you play video games all day because they'll just go and destroy something anyway. Here we go. This dog. Hey. This is just hilarious. You know what? And the thing is, here's the thing. The great things, the glorious things about dogs, and some dogs are different, okay? Like my dog, Zoe. Zoe's an American Eskimo, and Zoe sometimes just wants some love. She just wants to be rubbed. She just wants to be cuddled. She just wants to be held her head in your hands. And my color is screwed up on this camera today for some odd reason. 1 minute I'm like gray, and the next minute, see what I just did there? What the heck? Anyway, that's sometimes they just want that. Sometimes they just want outside. Sometimes they want to go for a car ride. Don't say that out loud. Make sure to spell it, although my dog can spell it now. Weird. They can also spell treat and squirrel. I know. And then they go outside. You're thinking they're all smart and everything, and you see one of them following the other dog around like she's a soft serve ice cream machine, just gobbling up that poop. A little bit more from the dog. Oh, bad dog. Play with me. Play with me. Play with me. Play with me. Hey, millennials. Your kids do the same thing. If you do that, if you just sit and play video games all day, thought you should know. Same reaction. They don't want anything from you. They don't need to go to Dairy Queen. They just want to hang out with you because you're cool. Until they get in high school, then you're not so cool anymore. Whatever. I always say to my son when he'd be like, you're uncool when he's 16. I said, Will, if I were cool to 16-year-olds, I'd be a danger to society. It would be really creepy. If I'm cool to 16-year-olds, I don't want to be cool to 16-year-olds because people who want to be cool to 16-year-olds are creepy. Yeah. So, not so much for me. Don't want to be cool to them. One more video, ladies and gentlemen. Parkour. Have you seen Parkour? Maybe when I was 21, I might have done Parkour, but I think maybe the reason why this exists is because of Spider-Man movies, maybe. I don't know. It's the athleticism is pretty cool, and they do some amazing stuff. They do some stupid crap. Because all you usually see is just the after edited where they did everything perfect, not where they broke their ankle or fell off a building. Here is a parkour. What do they call him? Parkour artist. Why do they call it parkour? Why do they call it guys jumping over crap? I don't know. Here he is, winding up in the can, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they're doing in Mexico. Yep, that's that easy. Here we go, to the can. And he's in the trash. That is so satisfying. That is, let's watch it again. That is spectacular. Okay, here we are on the southern border, as the wall is now. And we're going over into this trash can, and slow motion in the trash. That is, there you go, UK Daily Mail. I don't get all my video from the UK Daily Mail, but by gosh, I get a bunch of it. Did you like the show today? I had fun. I hope you did as well. Greatly appreciate you checking out the Range Broadcasting, my brothers and sisters on this glorious network. Support us because it's one of the better networks out there, and there are a bunch of them. There are a bunch of them out there. We're not as big as the big ones because, we don't have jobs on Fox News. Mm-hmm. We don't have nationally syndicated radio shows. So we're doing our best with some great content. And again, I hope you enjoyed it. Check out teepublic.com, conservatives, teepublic.com. Appreciate you joining me today, guys. God bless, and we'll see you again very soon. And next time, it'll be called What in the World is Going On with Rob Carson. See you then.
Thanks for listening to The Rob Carson Show. Friend him on Facebook at Carson Show, on Twitter at Rob Carson, and on Instagram, I think Facebook and Twitter are enough for now.